Now at 10, Lori Vallow Daybell's son testifies in her murder trial. What he had to say about the day his siblings went missing. Plus, Governor Spencer Cox declaring a state of emergency as flooding and flood risk continue to be a concern as that snow melts. And
I thought it was one of the kindest things that someone could do.
A local family donating hundreds of thousands of dollars tonight to the Highland City Foundation. What their donation will go towards.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
Welcome to the ABC4 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Emily Flores.
And I'm Glenn Mills. Thanks so much for joining us. Tonight we are hearing from Lori Vallow Daybell's only living child, Colby Ryan, the 27-year-old testifying in her murder trial today.
ABC4's Courtney Johns joining us live in studio with the details, including a phone call shared by prosecutors of Vallow Daybell talking to her son while in jail. Courtney?
East Idaho News reports Colby Ryan refused to make eye contact with his mother while taking the stand, only glancing at her and shaking his head. Ryan testifying someone even sent him text messages from his sister's phone claiming they were his sister, Tylee.
You don't know what happened. You don't know what happened.
Freaking matter what happened if they're buried in your new husband's backyard. Tell me that matters what happened. You tell me that you did this in Jesus' name, Mom.
That's part of the phone recording prosecutors are sharing today. It's a 12-minute conversation that happened after JJ and Tylee's bodies were found. Ryan says he started to worry about his sister because the texts he was receiving didn't sound like her.
Know that they're gone and you knew, and my phone is being texted by my little sister who's not even alive. My little brother who's the sweetest little kid ever. For what purpose? Can you tell me this is God's will for my whole family, including my stepfather, to be dead? After everything that you tried to tell me, you can tell me right now that Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, is on your side.
Lori can be heard also telling Ryan that no one really knows what happened to his siblings. Lori saying they love me and they are fine and they know the truth and we are the only people that do. Stick with ABC4 News for continuing coverage of this trial. We're going to bring you the very latest from inside the courtroom, both on air and online at abc4.com. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Well, new developments tonight. A $98 million verdict has been reinstated to the parents of Susan Cox Powell, the West Valley mother who disappeared in 2009. Now, Chuck and Judy Cox sued the state of Washington's Department of Social and Health Services. In 2012, their two grandkids were killed in a murder-suicide during a supervised court-ordered visit with their father, Josh Powell.
A lawsuit claiming social workers failed to protect their grandsons when Powell ignited the house on fire, killing him and the two boys. In 2020, a jury agreeing on a verdict awarding the Coxes $98 million in damages, but a judge dropped that amount down to $32 million. The Coxes filing an appeal, and today the Washington Appeals Court deciding to uphold the jury's original decision and award that $98 million.
And major crashes on Utah highways today, one turning deadly, the other involving a wrong-way driver. A double fatal accident happening on westbound SR-189 in Wasatch County. UHP saying that a car was traveling at a high rate of speed when it crossed over into oncoming traffic, hitting an SUV head-on. The drivers of both vehicles did die at the scene. And in Tooele, a crash involving a wrong-way driver near the Salt Lake County line, a trooper crashing into the vehicle to stop it. Now, the accident closing I-80 down to one lane earlier this afternoon. Both the trooper and the driver of the other vehicle reporting minor injuries. Sergeant Roden with Utah Highway Patrol explaining the moment the trooper stopped that wrong-way driver.
As far as specifically whether this trooper knew about the wrong-way driver, he had been called in, but whether he knew at the time or was just in the right place at the right time, I believe that was more of the case where he was just there and spotted the vehicle.
All lanes on westbound I-80 now open tonight.
Now to Utah Governor Spencer Cox declaring a state of emergency. The governor issuing an executive order this afternoon over all the flooding, avalanches, landslides, rock slides, mudslides, and other risks Utah faces right now. He says by declaring this state of emergency, the state will be better able to tap into reserve funds. Lawmakers allocating $5 million for emergency management flood mitigation during this year's session, but those funds already depleted. Now Utah will be able to seek aid from the federal government and other states. The state of emergency will be in effect for at least the next 30 days, but the legislature could extend that. Stick with us here on ABC4 News for continuing coverage of our flooding. We'll track which areas are at risk and keep you updated both on air and online, abc4.com.
All right, let's head over for a first look at the forecast on this Tuesday evening as our temperatures continue to fluctuate.
That's right. Thomas Gieboy in for Alana Brophy tonight. And that flooding concern, it's going to be sticking around for a while, Thomas.
Yeah, that it will. But at least on the bright side, over the next couple of days, things will ease slightly thanks to these cooler temperatures. But we still have a lot of snow up in the mountains. And when it comes to our snow water equivalent, we're still sitting at 27.1 inches. So we've melted roughly 10% of our record-breaking snowpack. Just need to make sure that we warm up gradually as we continue to go throughout this spring. And a bit of positive news this evening, the flood advisory that we have for Emigration Creek has been canceled from the National Weather Service as it looks like that flow continues to stay below action stage. But we still have the flood advisory for the Dolores River in eastern Grand County towards the confluence of the Colorado River in Franklin County in southeastern Idaho. That will continue through tomorrow afternoon, and the flood advisories that we have for northeast Nevada will continue through the next couple of days. So we'll continue to keep you posted on any flood concerns that we have across our area. Things have calmed down in northern Utah compared to what we were talking about earlier today. The view from Utah State University overlooking Old Main, where we saw rain and snow. Didn't really see any snow stick to the roadways, but we saw some of that snow on the elevated surfaces. There are a few spotty showers around currently. But as we go into tonight, that chance will gradually dwindle. In northern Utah, we'll still hold on to a slight chance in the central and northeastern half of the state, as we're still going to have some energy and some lingering moisture there. But tonight, it's turning chilly. So if you're heading out, make sure that you grab that extra layers. We're sitting at 42 degrees right now in Salt Lake, 34 degrees in Logan, 46 in Cedar City, and that temperature starting to drop down in St. George. So for most of us tonight, we're going to see those overnight lows dropping into the 20s and 30s. And in the southernmost portion of the state, we'll see those overnight lows dropping into the 40s. We're going to keep these cool temperatures in place more or less through our Thursday before warm-up happens this weekend, but we could see some bits of unsettled weather for both Thursday and into this upcoming weekend, but we'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes. Glenn, Emily.
All right, thank you so much, Thomas. Well, the Paiute County School District is moving to a 4-day school week this fall. The State Board of Education approving the district's request last week. Now, the district argued that change would be better for students, families, and staff in the rural schools, saying that attendance is already bad on Fridays. The district saying that students will spend more time in the classroom with the change. This isn't the first time Paiute County has had shortened school weeks. They did it for nearly 20 years, beginning back in the 80s. And a touching story following a generous donation, a local Highland family donating $500,000 to the Highland City Foundation. Now, the foundation, the donation is going to go towards building Mountain Ridge Park and is intended to go towards the construction of an all-abilities playground. Paul and Rachel Adams hope their contribution will inspire other charitable efforts and allow Highland to continue to be one of the state's most beautiful, family-friendly cities.
We're hoping that we're going to see the All Abilities Park used from those with all different abilities. If it be those who might have if it be some emotional, we'll have some sensory things there in the park to be able to help with that. Those who might have a little bit more physical handicap, they'll be able to come and use some of the different playgrounds.
The mayor going on to say that they will have pickleball courts, nice pavilions, 2 playing fields for football, soccer, lacrosse, and more, and also a high school level baseball diamond, saying the park is a major achievement for their community.
Also new at 10, 2 new Mountain Star clinics opening, one in Draper, the other in Riverdale. Healthcare workers, first responders, and local leaders gathering today for the ribbon-cutting ceremonies. The healthcare centers are located in Draper near Lone Peak Hospital, and then the one in Riverdale is near 49th South and 15th West. Both facilities will offer interactive training for nurses by using cutting-edge technology. Coming up, lawmakers in Washington battling over the national debt ceiling. More on Speaker Kevin McCarthy's meeting and his plan to cut federal spending.
And a settlement reached in Dominion Voting Systems defamation lawsuit against Fox News. Judge Eric Davis making the announcement in the courtroom today.
And after a busy day weather-wise in northern Utah, we were treated to a beautiful sunset along the Wasatch Front. This was shared by Heidi Priest in Utah County. Doesn't really get much better than that. We'll see a calmer day for our Wednesday, all for some more chances for wet weather going into our Thursday. We'll have your forecast coming up shortly after the break. Stay with us.